Okay, I have to be very quiet this stream. I'm very mindful of the other people in my house because everyone is very tired, including me. Okay, party people. Okay. I am so sleepy, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to, oh my god. Okay. I think it's worth it to, what was I gonna say? Dude, I'm gonna fuck up his trial so bad. It's gonna be rough. Okay, okay. How y'all doing? I'm fucking... Woo! Okay, we're gonna call this the fucking delirious stream. When I get sleepy, I get really, like, silly sometimes. So, you know, I should really, you know, I'm gonna just, for insurance, pull up the walkthrough. Because I think that that is a good idea. Okay. Hey, Romeo! Hi! It's nice to see you. Okay, I am back from my little vacay, visiting family, and I'm very tired, but it's okay. It's okay. And I'm gonna have to keep my volume down this time to, I'm gonna keep my volume down this time because I'm being really mindful of all the other people in my house that are very tired. Okay, okay. I'm not tired though. I've never been tired in my whole life. Okay. Okay. Bro is lost in the house. What, the House of Leaves? ASMR moment. Yeah, for real. This reminds me of when I first met you in a Discord call. OMG! Oh my god! Wait, yeah! Yeah. So the first time I met Romeo, I had been up for like 20-something hours. I think over 24 hours. I was still in high school, and oh my god, wait. That means I've known Romeo for at least 5 years. That's so crazy, dude. Did you just realize that too? Holy fucking shit, dude. Bro, we're old. Old as my dog. Shout out Leo. Heart emoji. crusty little white guy. I'm not tired. The tears in my eyes are from realizing I'm unk. L plus ratio old. No! 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 Yeah. Was it the heat waves reading, Romeo, or was it a different call? 'Cause if the first time you, like, ever really met me was the heat waves reading, that's fucking crazy, dog. Oh, you melt me ass. It was the 20-hour no sleep call? Okay. Cool. My memory of that time in my life is so fuzzy. Okay, I'm delirious. The heat waves was slightly after that, and it was surreal. Wait, do you remember Jubilee Charity? I remember parts of this experience. Yeah, Nova, I told you about it at school sometimes. I remember Jubilee Charity all the time. Fuck yes, dude. Not only Jubilee Charity, the fucking Home Depot in the call for 20 hours just looped. I saved a URL of her name years ago. Oh my god. For context, in a Discord server that me and Romeo used to be in, we all collectively so there were a bunch of us that would hang out in voice calls, and we would go in voice calls. Fucking wait, was at the same time we did that. Fucking a woman. Dude, okay. Context for Jubilee Charity. In the Discord, we would get in call and we would read X-reader fanfiction. Or gets, like, fanfiction where the reader gets, like, we would read self-insert fanfiction, right? Some of it was like, this person gets adopted by the Dream SMP cast. Some of it was, a whole bunch of it was X-reader. And so, we came up with a name for the reader insert character, and her name was Jubilee Charity, because we could tell that everyone writing these fanfictions was white, and so we were like, what is the absolute whitest name we can come up with? And around the same time, we had a meme in the Discord server that was like, a woman! I can't remember if it was a clip one of the streamers said. Like, it sounds like something Tommy would say. But, like, fucking, a woman! That was so many people's fucking, like, server nicknames. No, wait! Server nicknames didn't exist yet. You had to change your actual... No, it was from the Wattpad where Schlatt says it for some reason. Oh, man. Fuck, dude. So much of that time in my life was so dark and horrible, but fuck, we had Jubilee Charity. Yeah, you had to change your actual username on Discord. Because this was before everybody had to have individual usernames on Discord. You could have the exact same username as someone else. So there was a whole bunch of people in the Discord. I didn't actually know that happened because that server was the only one I was in. Yeah, it was, oh man, yeah. Just that was, oh boy. There was so much drama, but like also, we had Jubilee Charity, and Jubilee Charity, oh what a girl. I think it's, I think there's still a server that I'm still in that's like a Jubilee Charity fan server, and like, I think, someone still has the list somewhere, because the thing is, all of the different X-readers would have, like, you know, little personal details and information about, like, the insert character. So it's like, in this one, Jubilee Charity has blue eyes, but in this one, Jubilee Charity has green eyes, and in this one, Jubilee Charity has brown eyes. So obviously, Jubilee Charity is, like, a shapeshifter who can change her eye color, of course. And we had, and like every time personal information was revealed about the self-insert character, we would be like, ah, another piece of information about Jubilee Charity. Pretty sure the main one was we had the y/n's Twitch username the same name as the Wattpad author's username. Yeah, I think so. Dude, I hope I can find that list at some point, because that would be really funny. Okay, but yeah, I've been yapping for 11 minutes. I should really get into this if I want to get to bed. I think I still have it, but later. Yes, later. Okay, Rise from the Ashes, Trial Ladder. As far as I remember us leaving off, we proved that it was not Officer Goodman, it was not Detective Goodman in the, we proved the possibility that it was not Detective Goodman in the evidence room. We proved that it could have been someone else, because the locker was propped open with the rubber glove, and we are calling Jake Marshall to the stand because we found his fingerprints and stuff. Okay, February 24th, 12:14 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 9. Hello everyone, I'm here to say that a woman in the back row's baby is sleeping, so we're all going to be very quiet today, and that's going to be why we're all talking very quietly, okay? There's no other explanation. Well, I have a theory that the baby counts as a jury member. Oh, silly. Juries don't exist in this world. But once we get to Ace Attorney Apollo Justice... Ooh, foreshadowing. There's a baby, and that's why we have to be very quiet. The baby is sleeping. I think that maybe the real explanation is that outside the simulation, it's 11:50 in the fucking PM, and, the person controlling the simulation just got home from a big trip and is really tired, and, needs to be quiet, or else, their family members are gonna beat their ass. Well, Emma, I don't know about all that, but you sure sound like you've taken a big trip. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Oh shit, who was talking to me just now then? Where's my weird girl? I need my weird girl! Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. Holy shit, Edward's voice sounds really good when he's talking quietly. What was that, right? Fuck, nothing. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. He's such a bitch. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. When will Edgeworth get a witness to state their name properly? Probably fucking never. To be exact, it's J. Marshall, Your Honor. Sorry, I'm having a hard time being quiet. I'm normally able to project my voice and enunciate more. I'm something of a theater kid, one might say, so I have a difficult time speaking in low tones. Ha, I understand. Howling wind. I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. That's really funny, actually. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime, in plain old English. Day of the crime, witness testimony. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. God damn it, I hate this guy. Me fucking too. I was abandoning my post like a real fucking prick. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Hello! I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Stop it, stop being cunty. It's making you slightly likable. Almost. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickey are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders, unlike Meekins, and, to some extent, you, Phoenix. What makes you think I'm good at following orders, Edgeworth? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but, I mean, if you wanted to order me, never mind. Quiet, right. You're going to get too worked up and you'll wake up the baby in the back of the room, which is why we're speaking so quietly. Right, sorry. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? See? It's suspicious. He also hates Edgeworth. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Day of the crime, cross-examination. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Oh. Hello. Get raided, nerd? Well, thank you. Hi. Thank you for the raid. This is my 2nd raid ever. This is really cool. Don't even worry about it. Mid-trial. The most mid thing here is Jake Marshall. I fucking can't stand him. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. You're on the final trial of trials and tribulations? That's so far in the future for me. It feels like. My goal right now is to get to Apollo Justice by the 17th, because that's the day that the first case of Apollo Justice actually takes place, is this year. June 14th is Phoenix Wright gets hit by a fucking car day. So everybody put that in your calendar. I literally did. I literally have it in my fucking calendar. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. Excellent fucking point, Phoenix. He's not a fucking desperado, and even if he was, he'd be fucking settler. Fucking manifest destiny ass bitch motherfucker. I just start like foaming at the mouth like her. Fucking hate him. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? I hate Lotta Hart. Really? I think she has a charm to her. My mortal enemy is that country bumpkin bitch? That's crazy. I kinda love her. This man said manifest destiny. I think that Lotta has a charm to her, specifically because she's like, hey, not everybody from the South is dumb. It's just me. I'm dumb. She's like, hey, people from the South being dumb is a terrible, awful stereotype. It's just a stereotype that I happen to fit. I am dumb as a box of fucking rocks. I like her 'cause she's silly. She's a silly gal. She's like, I go where the fucking wind takes me. She has a charm to her. How does this guy avoid being fired? Lotta Hart, more like Lotta Discourse. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a goldmine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. Yeah, the raid number seems busted. I raided my friend the other day, and it didn't even notify that I had raided him, like, at all. Gumshoe is my fave voice to do. What would my favorite voice be? Lada's was really fun. I really like doing Maya's. I don't know, Romeo, Nova, do you have a favorite of mine that I do? Lada's was really fun to do. Gumshoe is really fun. Ooh, I liked that first old bag you did. That's very fair, but I could not keep up. I couldn't keep this up! I like doing a character you meet later. Ooh. Oh, right, there's a minimum raid thing. I forgot about that. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Fuck, based. I just ate a huge fucking bowl of spaghetti earlier. I've been on Twitch for a long frickin' time. I'm pretty new, personally. Yeah, I honestly just started streaming seriously, like, this year. I ate sukiyaki that I made. Oh, cool. I was eating spaghetti. Not even angel steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongol sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Oh, this was... Do you think that it was spaghetti in the original? It was probably not. He was probably just eating ramen, and they were like, well, it's noodles. We have to make it American somehow. I love you, Japanifornia. Not at all. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. Why does that feel vaguely racist? I hate this man! That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, did you not want to raise this year? I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall. That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone, everyone knows that. Except for our boys in blue. Back the blue. Oh, thin blue line. Gotta love those boys in blue. Oh, support the police no matter what. I fucking hate him. Tomato, 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 tomato. I am throwing tomatoes at his face. A cab for real. Aye, aye, Romeo. I believe in you. The amount of crazy quotes from crazy situations in this game, and also from this ad-libbing, is so funny. Yeah, my favorite bit is that I do is that Phoenix hit his head on a bar. The judge is like, "Did you even take the bar exam?" And he's like, "A bar? I hit my head on one of those this morning, and gosh, it's kind of hard to remember anything." And that's why Phoenix doesn't remember shit about fuck when it comes to law school. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. My job was to keep a rare guy in that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. So I still was protected by 2 security systems anyway. Oh, I don't have, my Discord set up, to be... I don't have my bot set up super comprehensively, but it is in my Twitch bio. One of ours is the judge is always hungry. He always wants a sandwich that is kept warm in Edgeworth's pants. One of mine is that the judge is, always, like, a little bit horny, but specifically he is so weak to, like, most women. And then also to, I think, was it Gant? Or who did we make him, like, kind of horny for? I can't remember. Oh, no, we made him kind of horny for Von Karma. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon at the time it went down. Okay. So, no, bitch, you were not. Where's my fucking evidence of his fingerprint? Marshall's fingerprints. What happened? Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime, and yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Have a good night. I mean, who isn't horny for the whip lady? Edgeworth, because he's gay. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away, however, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Huh? I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. We all know Edgeworth is gay for the flaming Birdman himself. No, I'm extremely heterosexual. I'm very straight. Look at how perfect my cravat is. You can tell that I'm very straight from my perfect cravat. Good night. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime. Blood-stained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Okay. Let's go, you all lives matter ass bitch. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. And that locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. I don't trust it. He's hiding a bigger knife. No, I think his knife is average to small, actually. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint? It wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened, the murderer touched the locker where my fingerprints was by chance. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Homonyms? Homonyms? Phoenix? Are you? He's like, homonyms. Homonyms. It's, I'm straight, I'm straight, I'm straight. I think about Edgeworth normal amounts, okay? Well, didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? Yeah, how do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There's a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's handprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. Huh? There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Man with zero experience with the South, by the way. Yeah, he's never even fucking been there. Literally, Gumshoe, he said he came from West LA. He's a fucking poser. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? Maybe. If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. Objection! Objection! I'm gonna yell it quietly so that I don't wake the baby. Oh, good night. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Oh, here we go again. Watching the video again. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. Objection! Objection! Edgeworth, be careful not to wake that baby. My apologies. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Remember how I said you have to watch The Blue Badger 20 million times? Yep, I'm remembering. I fear we have been here before. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Am I tired enough to justify the walkthrough? Yes, I noted this yesterday. Okay, I took a note. Yesterday. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Before I make the mistake, before I lead with the worst of me, I never let them see the worst of me. I was listening to musicals this morning. Well, yesterday morning. Tuesday morning, because it's fucking officially Thursday now. I have therapy today. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Let's fast forward. Ha 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 ha. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. You're not from Texas, you dumb bitch. This is like stolen valor right now. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Boom, 8 words, motherfucker. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. Well, thanks. I mean, I did just count them on my fingers right in front of you. But anyway, the key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Yep, the thing I just looked at. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Also, did bro just say that Texas, the hot, excruciating, long days are short? Stolen fucking valor. Yep, there we go. Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order. It would seem... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. Huh? So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. Does he know? Stupid, stupid man. Stupid, dumb, idiot man. This just goes to show that it really is true that people from the South ain't dumb. It's just me and this motherfucker who ain't even Southern. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. back, dog. Buddy. Fingerprint sensor? He's so fucking stupid! Dude, how did you plan out this whole fucking crime? And like you didn't... Like you carefully knew the movements of the fucking camera. But you didn't know about the fucking fingerprint sensor. He's so dumb. I fucking hate him. Uh-huh. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Such a cop move, by the way. Yup. Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Most accurate cop murder suspect. So true, bestie. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Oh, that's so bitchy. I love it. I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! And then the baby starts crying. Order, witness. Shut the fuck up. There's a baby. I think that's the most accurate baby cry noise I've ever made. And the mom's like, shh, shh, shh. It's okay. It's okay. Kind of sounds like a bird, but, you know, we do our best. We do our best Foley work here on Solar Stargaze. Explain yourself. Quietly. This is a joke. It's the worst joke I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay, please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. I'm just gonna double check. Oh, yeah, the victim spot, actually, because that's supposed to be Goodman. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? I still don't know what that is. Gosh, you're gonna have to explain the whole concept to me from the bottom up. What's evidence again? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as a victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? And also, do you think my beard looks good on me? I mean, he keeps making comments about it, and I've always thought that it was quite flattering, but now I'm starting to have doubts for the first time in my life. And I've had this beard since I was a wee baby. How long ago was that, Your Honor? Many, many years. Many, many years. Uncountable years. Anyway, can you prove that Officer Marshall was dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ah! This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? But I don't remember the basics. Because I hit my head on that bar! Edgeworth! For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. And then you hear Emma in the distance. The developers of the simulation seem to have spent a lot of time on that video, and they really want you to watch it as many times as possible because of the 3D animation. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. I mean... yeah, okay. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. Okay. Hi, Blue Badger. What's up, buddy? Hi, man. Hi, buddy. Hi, Blue Badger. Ah, there it is. Blood. blood on his coat. Present. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. Lol, it's okay. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we? I knew it! It's some kind of fucking conspiracy. I'm the one left standing? What an honor! I'd like to thank the Academy to be the stream that you picked. I'd like to thank my parents for giving me enough trauma to make me funny. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come. The time has done what? Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Stop snorting cocaine. Not good for your health. It's a need for Phoenix to keep working. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Oh, was the jar full of blood? I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SN9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner, that case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, You managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't actually think anyone would come in during that time. I didn't... Fuck. God, I'm so tired. I'm like mixing up words so bad. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. Common cop behavior, just fucking knocking somebody out or hurting somebody because, oh, I got startled. Fucking asshole. I hate him so much. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. Phoenix being judgmental about Edgeworth's power as if it isn't his... as if it isn't a turn-on for him. Man, Edgeworth has so much power and influence over people. I mean, what the heck? I mean, I'm not tucking my hair behind my ears, right? Your hair was already behind your ears. You spike it up because you don't like the feeling of it on your neck. How did you know that? I heard you mention it before. I pay attention when you speak. Wow. Edgeworth. Right. I mean, don't take it personally. It's my job to pay attention. Edgeworth. Right. Edgeworth. Right. Damn, Edgy got his ass. Not yet, he didn't. Oh god, I need to stay quiet. I forgot about the baby in the courtroom. Managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. Like that baby over in, in the back of court there. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So, you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. I hate him so much. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Just like I'm free to own 20 guns and marry my cousin, who's also 13. and I'm legally not allowed to own more than 5 dildos in Texas, because owning more than 5 is considered intent to distribute. That's a real thing, by the way. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. Sorry about the gross noise I just made. I'm so tired and a fucking shitload of mucus was building up. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? Is it because it involved Emma? Neil Marshall. Oh. Oh. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. It'll quench you. It's the quenchiest. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. See, okay. That's sad. I still don't fucking like this guy. Like, it's tragic and all. His whole fucking bit is still annoying, though. Oh, fucking manifest destiny, yeehaw, oh, it's a free country. My brother got fridged, and now I need to fucking... Now, my brother got fridged, and now I need to fucking avenge him. I'm a lone ranger, rootin' tootin' cowboy. I hear he fucking caused 90% of his losses. Yeah, well, that tracks. He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 incident could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze me. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Objection, which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. Well, it seems to me that you're a fucking bitch, so why don't you shut the fuck up? All of the mysteries of the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely uncontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I do have a response. Objection. Oh shit, my bad. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake, but I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Hold it! Hold it! Your Honor! Wait! Emma! The defense has an objection! A scientific objection! Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. Oh, he's so weak to her. Oh, it's so cute. Oh my god. I don't want to leave any loose ends. Oh, he's so weak to her. Oh my god. Oh, he loves this little girl. Yeah. You want a minute, I'll give you 3. She wants a minute, he'll give her 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. No, Emma, you're perfect. Don't say that. You're perfect, tiny baby. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. Emma, you're perfect. So true, bestie. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? Yes. It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry it can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object. I definitely object, and I'm super duper not looking at the walkthrough. I object. Oh my god, yeah! The blue badger was blocking it! I noticed that earlier! I was like, how would Marshall be able to leave that handprint there if the blue was clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Mm-hmm. Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. But let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. What? Your Honor! I would never! Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something that I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? The blue badger, baby! What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? So that means, just exactly what does that mean? And I'm so sorry, ma'am. It's fine, just try to keep it down. It means it can't be done. Oh my god, I've been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It might sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claims. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? I got this. To summarize, the defense claims that, prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? It's the sheet with the times. 7777777. Cause, wait, yeah. But then Edgeworth would have noticed the blood stain because... No. Huh. Because, okay, I'm just trying to think it through because, like, Meekins went and took the Blue Badger in there. Not necessarily. Okay. Because I'm just... Yeah, because Meekins went and took the Blue Badger in there at 4:50, right? Or was he going to get the Blue Badger? I can't remember. But it's this. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. I think he was going to get it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh! The ID card record! Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. 4:40 p.m. Ah! Ah! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure it out. It couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 sevens. It's not 6 sevens. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7 times 7. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. Hold on. 24, 33. Oh, he's fucking uncle, right? Romeo! Romeo! Yay! Okay, so what you missed is, we figured out that Jake Marshall was, in fact, posing as Detective Goodman in order to enter the evidence room because one of the victims of the Joe Dark killings was Neil Marshall, his brother. And he didn't feel right about the way that the trial went to convict Joe Dark. And he couldn't just let it rest. So he was going in order to steal evidence, to take a look at it, to like make it so the case had to be opened back up. And the way we caught him was that little piece of cloth sticking out of one of the lockers. It was sticking out of Jake Marshall's locker, and he had to shove the coat in there because there was blood on it from when Meekins kind of like basically stabbed himself. But what we're figuring out now is there was that other bloody handprint on the locker, on the other locker that wasn't Jake Marshall's, the bloody handprint on Gumshoe's locker. But the thing is, it was behind the Blue Badger. It was behind where the Blue Badger was dancing, which means, and the Blue Badger was already in there during the time when the fake murder took place. And there was just like a huge amount of blood. Enough blood that it doesn't make sense to just have come from Officer Meekins' hand being stabbed. Okay? So, that means that Detective Goodman's murder must have occurred in the evidence room earlier that day. And also, so when we look at the ID card record, it must have taken place at 420 haha funny weed number, because it couldn't have been Edgeworth, because he would have had to clean up all that blood and try to like wipe it all away and everything in 10 minutes before Meekins brought in the Blue Badger. So they faked the one on the lot. That's what I'm thinking. Explain yourself, son. The ID number 777 God, Jesus, fuck. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher, someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous! Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. They're all working together from what this seems to be, Lana too. This is the thing. Marshall seems to have been working alone. Because he didn't realize... He didn't even know that the evidence lockers were fingerprinted. Like, he didn't know that the evidence lockers were fingerprint activated. He's just that fucking stupid. Also, important note, his brother who was murdered was a prosecutor. He's actually the fourth person in that image, the other person with the cowboy hat. Also, yeah, Edgeworth gagged fucking gagged Phoenix so hard here. I'm not finished talking, right? Oh, sorry, Daddy. That's a real line that Phoenix says in a later game. So sorry, Daddy. I'm not explaining that one. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Oh, man. Holy shit. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! 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 Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom... Shit. The trial would have to wait until the following day. Gooped. Gagged. Call me Mia Fey the way Lana Skye just gagged me. Sorry. I'm like Shinji posing right now. Say Gex indeed. I'm like, I can't even like press the yes button. Yeah, I want to save my progress. I'm just like in shock. Jesus Christ. Lana Skye, the woman you are. I'm like morally opposed, but also like, damn. This is fucking crazy considering what ends up happening in Apollo Justice, which I'm not gonna spoil, but like the first case in Apollo Justice, this is crazy. And then the fact that Emma Skye is present in Apollo Justice. Holy fuck. By the way, these cases only get better. I don't think I'm ready. Phoenix! Phoenix, dude! Oh my god. Christoph Gavin, you motherfucker. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. It's 1:13 a.m. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Solar. Yes? What is it? It's bedtime now. Sleep? I've never slept in my life. I don't need that. Okay. I pinky promise. Hey, I'm here too, bro. Shh. Hi, Nova. Smile. I love you guys being in chat, bro. Sleep is necessary. Okay, I pinky promise, okay? All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end stream and I'm gonna export the VOD to the second channel. And then I'm gonna go to bed. I pinky promise. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention, when you guys are watching the VODs, anything from day 6 onward, when you guys are watching the VODs, if you think anything is like particularly funny or clippable, can you send me the timestamp? Because I want to get more clips going on the actual Twitch page. So, I want to try something especially from the 4th trial. Okay. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it because I want to get more clips going and like start generating more stuff for like TikTok and stuff because all of the, not to, peek behind the curtain here, but all of the like streamer tip things that I've seen have been like, hey, you're not gonna get many new viewers from like the Twitch Discover page or anything like that. Like you're mostly gonna get new viewers from TikTok. All the big boys on TikTok. Yeah, exactly. So I think posting I've never yawned in my life, never. I'm like Jade in that one episode of Victorious when she's like, I don't sweat, I've never sweat. But yeah, just, if you think anything's especially funny, especially I don't know, TikTokable. If you think that maybe it'll go TikTok on the clock and your party don't stop and oh whoa whoa whoa, oh whoa whoa whoa, then it'd be sick nasty if you would you know oh whoa, what's this? Rar, extra nuzzles pounces on you. Ooh, you so warm. Sorry. Couldn't help but no. It's like the Green Goblin mask. It calls to me. Okay. I think I'm planning on streaming earlier tomorrow. No, don't do it. Okay. I think I'm planning on streaming earlier tomorrow. I'm gonna decide what time in the morning, but I'm thinking, like, fuck, like, I want to finish this case tomorrow. Like, let me just give a gander at the walkthrough, at the pieces of the trial. Okay, so we have another investigation, we have another investigation, and then a 3-part trial. So that shit's gonna go crazy. We've come so far, though, guys. I actually looked it up, Romeo. This is one of the longest trials in, like, any of the games. I don't think it's the longest, but this case was apparently, according to our fun fact friend, I Hate Peeps, if you remember them sharing fun facts, apparently case 5 was specifically written with, like, the idea in mind of, like, what the most psychologically damaging thing that could happen to Edgeworth would be after getting, like, after everything in the 4th trial, after getting all of that shit drug up, what would be even worse for Edgeworth? Which is, like, crazy. Like, leave my boy be! They love torturing that man. I think he's the original Blorbo. No. I'm wrong. Sorry. Blorbo is a fond term. Edgeworth is the original the character. They also do this to Phoenix. Eventually, I think. they really put Phoenix through it. And then they put Apollo through it. I'm pretty sure Apollo is the only... Can't wait to know who that fucking guy is. Who, Apollo? You're gonna fucking love him, dude. I love him so much. I just found out Spirit of Justice has the longest case number by 12 fucking hours of gameplay. Holy shit. Dude. Bro. I'm gonna die. Okay, well, Spirit of Justice is way down the line. So we don't have to worry about that until after Apollo Justice. Thank fucking God. Okay. We're good, we're good, we're good. Okay. So we have an investigation, which took me about 2 hours last time. This trial was about an hour and 30 minutes. And this was only the latter of the trial. So, and the other one took about an hour and a half. Or an hour. The other one took about an hour, I think. So both of them put together, they were 2.5 hours. So, the investigation, we'll say it's like 2 hours, right? Let's say the former trial is 1 hour. You know, you should do something special on 413. I really should. Fuck, dude. That's Homestuck-iversary. Listen, here's what we do. Oh my god, guys, on 413, we do a special, like, Homestuck stream, okay? On 413, we do a special Homestuck stream. We stay up past midnight so that it becomes the 14th, and then we play more Ace Attorney. Fuck yeah, dude. That's actually so exciting to me. That'll be so fun. 'Cause Nova hasn't gotten that far into it. We could try to... we could try to set up a live Homestuck reading. It could be a fun callback. A fun callback to the Heat Waves reading. I get my partner in call and on the stream, and they help voice characters. You guys get to hear their accent again. Okay, that's actually so exciting. Okay, hold on. I need to calculate. Okay, so if the investigation is 2 hours, and then the former trial is 1, that would be like 3 hours. If the latter trial is, we're gonna say another. There's like gonna be at least like 6 hours, I think. So what if I start streaming at like 4? What if I start streaming at like 4? Yeah. I'm thinking that there's probably like 6 hours left. Four would be right out of therapy for me, so that would work. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Now that we have come up with an idea for a Homestuck stream, and we have figured out what time we're streaming tomorrow, I think it's time to go to bed. Not for Romeo, because for Romeo it's 2:25 in the afternoon? Bingo! Yeah! My time zone is CST. It's Chicago time. Chicago mentioned. Also, New Orleans time. That's where they do the ball drop for our time zone usually. Except they did it in Chicago this year, actually. Me ex Chicago for life. And when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. Another version of me, I was in it. I say goodbye to the end of beginning. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. You take the man out of the city, not the city out the man. You take the man out of. Okay, anyway. Romeo, I always remember that your time zone is 12 hours plus 1, at least for daylight savings time. By the way, my cat Momo and my partner have fallen asleep to the stream. It's making me very emotional. Momo and Augustus, is this ASMR for you? No, Russell, I can't believe it. I did Funny Mike and everything. Okay. It's bedtime. I have been yapping excessively. I got a grunt from which one? Okay, good night, guys. I am gonna write down that stream idea, and I am so excited to talk to you guys and see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.